Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. What's my name? This is Michelle Bryant. This is Michelle Bryant, WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You are listening to Say Something Real. Bro, what's up with the psychedelic stuff
I was
going
trying to
on?
match the hat.
Oh, I see. I think people at home going to be like,
Mushrooms.
Jermaine can't see it.
they gonna think I'm high. It look like some psychedelic stuff is happening.
Mushrooms.
Like,
Yeah,
look,
gotta pull it
they
up
gonna
so
look
you
at
can
their
see it.
screen and be like, y'all, that's Debo.
Michelle been tripping.
When y'all see the all this frame around the screen, this
you see it,
Debo on his nonsense. You know how people get when they learn new technology.
Somebody's at the door already.
Oh, really?
At the door, and like, let me try this. So, is that what it is?
I sure hope not.
It's Deron. You know what? This just stopping by. We just
A wonderful day in the neighborhood. He just happened to be in the neighborhood.
he work around the corner. That's
Right.
why. Dude, I'm sorry. And you brought your notebook. You brought cookies. I
You brought
appreciate you.
cookies.
You know.
Yeah.
What cookies are these today?
Appreciate you.
Cookie. This morning it's a bourbon chocolate chip potato chip cookie.
Potato chip.
Chocolate chip potato chip.
Sure.
You know,
So how do you figure out what you're gonna combine to come up with this cookie?
So I've got this thing in my head called gustatory synesthesia, which means that if I can see
it's called what now?
gustatory synesthesia.
All right.
In other words,
So I look, you know what? Bonjour, good morning. Ça va bien aujourd'hui? Look, I said, wait.
People
So,
were seeing me out. They come out. This lady said her grandson was spitting all over her dashboard because he was in the car. She said, "Boy, if you stop spitting on my dashboard."
I'm happy I can, bring laughter and slobber to people's lives.
And
But
so,
so-
wait, what's our new word? Say it again. Gluster what?
gustatory synesthesia,
Keith Paris, that's for you.
right? So
Keep that home like, well, you know that's me.
And the etymology.
so basically, if I can see things in my head, I can taste them.
Mm.
So that way, I don't have to. It cuts down on all the trial and error.
Mhm.
So when
Let me
when I
smell
created this cookie like 5 years ago called the Disruptor,
Oh, that was a cookie he
that
created for
I
me.
made for you. So I asked her a bunch of questions,
Yeah.
and then the flavors, I started seeing things in my head.
And then you was able to create it.
Yeah, just one
know what?
one
That's-
take.
That's crazy that he say that because for me, with music,
Yeah.
I can see it in my head and I can produce it.
Yep.
Okay.
So him saying that, it really stuck out to me because
So now you know what you afflicted with.
Yeah. So what is it called again?
Well,
No. What's
so
the term?
the gustatory synesthesia.
So yeah, man, I got cluster story. Yeah. Otherwise, that's what I got. I knew it was something wrong with me.
Jermaine,
I knew it was something wrong with me. I got cluster stutters.
Jermaine, don't try to use that word.
Yeah, man. I got. I'm just gonna use that.
Don't. We gonna get you.
I knew I was afflicted with something.
We gonna come up with
I
an
think
easier
it's, I think
word.
it's a lot more than that. I'm gonna bring the oil when I come in tomorrow. Have my mother bless it.
Yeah, I knew I was afflicted.
Put some hands on him.
I was afflicted with something. I just couldn't figure out what.
I just don't understand how I get caught up in this stuff. I really.
So what's that word again?
So yeah, I'm getting ready to look it up.
Jesus.
Gluster.
You'll never.
Glus-
You'll
no,
never
right. He's
Hold on, man. Hey,
You'll
man, I'm
never
gonna break
get
it down. Say Gusta.
glus.
Oh, glus.
Gustatory synesthesia.
Glus. Tatori. Synesthesia.
Correct.
Correct.
So, but
Wait.
you, the,
hold
but
on.
He said correct.
Wait. Hold on. I don't think they go in it. Wait.
no.
Gustatory synesthesia.
Gustatory synesthesia.
Glustus. It's
Hey,
sus,
man.
isn't it?
Too many. Yeah, too many rolling.
Google said he made it up.
Yeah, I just said what?
There you go. Now you just want to put me out there on blast. Huh?
I'm
I knew he was a sham.
Google said there is no such word. Keith can calm down.
Trying to figure it out.
And
I do admit something.
you know what they tell you? Just act like you belong and people will believe it.
Right.
So he just came in here and set it off, proficiently,
So I just
and
diagnosed
everybody like, oh
myself.
snap!
Right, but
And then
you know what? If we don't want the $100 answer, just usually I come up with things just by talking to people, having conversations. Sometimes I'll see this and that, and I'm like, oh, they go great together. Like one day I was in the gym on the treadmill, and all of a sudden I had a taste for I could see black garlic and chocolate together.
Black garlic.
Yeah, so I made a black garlic chocolate chip cookie.
Black garlic.
And it
There's
was
a black
nice.
garlic.
There is a black garlic. It's
Okay,
fermented
wait,
and
let
it's
me
a
look it
little
Have you
sweet.
What do you make with black garlic besides
Just
dropping it in a cookie?
Yumminess. Put it in whatever you want.
Black garlic. So is it literally black?
Mm-hmm.
Doran,
It's fermented. Yes.
Have you done anything with cheese?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually the cookie you have now has smoked Gouda and brie are creamed in with the butter at the very beginning. So there is cheese in this cookie. But my most savory cookie that I think I've made was a chicken and waffle cookie. I took a pound of frozen chicken breast and shredded it on a cheese grater and folded it into the cookie dough and added sharp cheddar.
Really?
And some other cheese, but it was very savory, very, very savory.
You're doing way too much.
I know, but that's why I'm Whiskey
You're
Brown.
doing way too
Got
much.
a lot of time on his hands.
Well,
God,
when you're a master baker, you have to create. So
Jesus.
So I mean, but for someone who you've tickled their fancy, their curiosity has been arisen this morning. Where do they find the cookies?
whiskey-brown.com. Right now, we're only online doing e-commerce, but anytime somebody places an order within the city, I do deliver personally within 48 hours. We will be doing a nationwide launch sometime next year, I think at the end of third quarter. But in order to be able to streamline and focus and really get a handle on the company, we went online and just did e-commerce, and it's been working a lot more efficiently than doing all the little retail spots around the city and having to run here and run there. And I mean, it's way more profitable. Whereas, yes, ma'am.
No, I was just gonna say, I'm interrupting. I'm being rude.
Yeah. Let me know.
Does it help you control inventory to where you're not over baking or having to pick up stuff that didn't move per se?
The good thing is everything is things that don't get moved right away can be frozen for 12 months. So everything's is automatically wrapped and sealed individually, and then they're stored in the cooler, and then whatever isn't moving goes from the cooler to the freezer, and they can stay frozen for 12 months without being crusty or crunchy or stale.
Okay, anyway.
Yes.
So I had to look
You're still
up.
just upset because that woman ate your soup.
Yeah, she did. Anyway.
She texted me Monday night. My friend's mom came over and ate my soup, and I was like, "That's too bad." I was like, "It was some damn good soup." She was saying it like it was.
I wasn't saying it like I wanted you to give me no more. Don't
yes,
even
you were.
try it.
Yes, you
What
were.
was in there? Pachetti? What was that? What you have in there?
Pancetta and bacon.
Pancetta.
Yes.
And bacon.
I'm still trying to say what I'm trying to
go
say.
ahead, say something real.
And then, first of all,
Dígame algo.
you just came in and just disrupted the show.
Dígame
I haven't
algo.
even said good morning to the brothers in the studio.
But
So no, thank you. So good morning to the brothers in the studio.
good morning.
What-
Not you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not me.
What's happening, Mr. Ryder? Because I got Ralph Tresvance in here who will later let me know. Oh yeah, you didn't say nothing to me this morning. You didn't speak this morning. You let Cookie Man come in here and monopolize the conversation. Good morning, Mr. Rideout. How are you this morning, sir?
Well, good morning, Miss Michelle. Respectfully.
Yes, JT. What?
I'm having my JT moment. Respectfully, Michelle. When you wear that hat. Respectfully.
I know. Like when you flip your locks to the side.
Hey, I feel some kind of way, man. I feel like
said,
Billy G. Williams.
We done who? I'm
Billy
sorry, what
G.
now?
Billy G. Williams.
Benny G. Williams.
I'm gonna suggest you not use that name.
Hey.
What's happening, Mr. DeBo?
You mean he's through?
Look,
Yeah,
look.
I didn't want to take up too much time since is in the house.
Yeah, and he getting ready to move too because I got something to talk about this morning. I'm not thinking about y'all.
Rather quickly, I would just like to say.
Would you be remiss?
Well, I certainly would be remiss.
I would be completely remiss if I didn't
if I didn't make comment and thank Doron for the cookie.
You're welcome.
And I'm certainly going to check this one out. You said it's got cheese in it, potato chips, chocolate chips. It's got a little bit of Chardonnay, some Chard in there too.
A little Chardonnay to help amp up the butter and the cheese flavors. Give it a little creaminess, a little buttery.
Right, so can we drink on the job, Tito?
No, we can eat cookies though.
Well, that's what we made. That's what I made this morning. Those are fresh baked, not even 2 hours out the oven.
Hey, you said no, but we can eat cookies though.
Right?
Yeah.
I just think it's funny when it's not about.
Duran,
Yes, sir.
I'm still.
Oh my God!
You're taking a long time.
Lo siento.
I had a great evening, Michelle. Thanks for asking. Back to the Michelle and Duran show.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as Whiskey Wednesday.
Yeah, you know what?
Welcome.
Otherwise known as Get the Hell.
Oh, you're kicking me out today. Look, it's
I'm
real
just
quick.
saying, just come in. You know, that's why you can't have.
Well, you know,
Can't have folks know where you stay. They just be dropping by. You be like, that guy for Ring Camera, so you can like then turn a little message on. The person you're here to see is not here. Man, love Ring Camera. Me and Keisha be looking dead at the camera like.
Oh, that's why sometimes I just be standing out there. Huh?
Pretty much, bro. I mean, but it's all
no, when
good.
I see the cars and I'm like, I know y'all in there.
Like, ain't nobody home.
We ride with Jermaine. Just because you see my car don't mean I'm at home. I'm riding with Jermaine.
Okay.
Or I called Jermaine. I like, oh my God, I used to love this. So it was a group of us. Everybody had real nice whips. And so you would just feel like driving something different that day.
Yeah.
So you call your people and be like,
Throw them the keys.
hey, throw them keys, bruh. And you know, you ride in something else. And people be like, I passed by the house. I'm not in that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the best. And all my friends had beautiful cars. I'm
We
like,
still do that in the summertime.
do y'all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's in fact one of my friends. He started me doing that because his car was just amazing. He had a vet, and I loved it. And I was like, he was like, "You taking any time?" I was like, "Oh, I need that this weekend."
Yeah.
Dude called up on Thursday. He said, "What you need Saturday? You need Friday?"
Right.
I thought he was kidding, and he was like, "No, what your day you need it?" I said, "Oh, I said the weekend." He's like, "I'm getting it."
Yeah, switch cars.
And then my other friend, he got a car. He got a 5-car garage.
Oh.
Bro was like, pick.
Whichever.
I love having friends. What somebody say? I don't have problems. I have
Oh,
friends.
real?
Clarence Avon said that.
Can we be friends?
No.
No.
Well, wait, because you made some chicken wings
And chicken thighs, yes.
Yes, wait.
Those are in the oven.
Yeah.
I made chicken wings and chicken thighs. They were at a 48-hour brine, and I put them in the oven this morning. That's slow cooking. Oh yeah, delicious. So they're gonna slow cook for 4 hours and then go in the smoker after that for 2 hours. But
so
yeah,
you selling thighs?
That did not sound too cool. That didn't sound too cool, brother.
That didn't sound.
I'm looking at you like. I'm looking at you right now. That did not sound right.
No Diddy.
I'm looking at you right now.
I'm saying,
and I'm about to call 50 Cent.
no Diddy. I'm just saying.
Yeah, come on, baby oil.
Look, if the food turns out well, I'll bring y'all.
Yeah.
No.
Do you use olive oil, avocado oil, or baby oil?
You opened the door for that one, Jermaine. So
no Diddy. As you said it, I was like,
no Diddy. I gotta go.
we not answering.
Y'all so stupid.
All right, look, y'all. In the midst of the camaraderie in the studio, I do need to take a second and mention a couple of quick things. So you gonna sit here? You good? Because I'm about to start my show.
We already done started.
Well, okay, then we good sitting there then. But let me say this.
Well, you won't be able to leave until we do a break.
I know. I'll stop.
Why? How come we can't just walk out right now? So
That's what I'm
saying. If he sticks around, because it's gonna look crazy for him to get up in the middle of it.
No, it's not.
Okay, go ahead. What are you saying?
But what I need to say in all seriousness is that I have had a couple of people reach out to me as we talk about the holiday and the need in our community is always great. So I had 2 two things come up. And one thing is kind of crazy because I know that there are people that folks call in the community for help, Von Mays, and a lot of the folks connected to the street teams that they have out there. They do so much in the community. I think about uh, Tory Lowe. He does a lot to try to bring resources to the community. There are just some people that are not like elected officials or, run agencies, but our community turns to them. So I got two phone calls. One was uh, some children at a local middle school who we're trying to outfit with some coats. 5 kids specifically, boys specifically. I don't have their sizes yet, but if there's anybody that would like to help for the holiday, buy a young brother a coat.
Sure, we'll sponsor one of those coats.
You'll spot.
Sure, I'll get a coat. Just
Oh
as soon
my
as you get a
God.
size, we'll get a coat.
I should have the sizes hopefully by tomorrow, and I will text you and let you know.
Cool.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm always hesitant because this community does so much. I mean, every time I open my mouth and say something is going on, people show up, and you tap in people that have limited, resources and means themselves. But what I continue to find out is every time I think it's tight over here, you realize like, no, somebody is homeless. Somebody's staying in a shelter. There definitely will be children that wake up on Christmas morning with nothing. And that was the other request. I got a request to see if I could do a few toys for some kids whose parents, whose mothers are one mother is going through cancer right now and unable to work and get stuff for the children. So in addition, so I made some phone calls, and I'm like piecing stuff together here and there. Uh, And, the other thing that we realized too, philanthropically, a lot has dried up. Organizations who had money in the past to donate to the Women's Center, donate to, the shelters, donate to these places. Thank you so much, Brian. Those donations are not coming. And so the one thing, that I at least know how to do is if we spread around the issue. So if I ask somebody, can you buy me one doll? Can you buy me one truck? Can we get one thing? If you're already shopping and you can do just one item, but if 20 of us do that, then I got the 20 toys that I need. And even though if you think about your own children and your own circumstance, I think many of us, particularly those of us that are doing okay, you would be horrified if your child woke up and had one toy for Christmas. I mean, but there will be children that will be so happy to have the one, because I got kids right now that I've gotten phone calls about, and I think it's about 20 kids. And I got to check my numbers, but I think it's about 20 kids. I got the breakdown on boys and girls. I got the ages. So over the next few days, tomorrow, next week, I'm going to ask one more time of this community. But like I said, it's not a big ask, but it will make a big difference. That if you can pick up an extra toy, drop it by the radio station, call me, I'll come pick it up. It would be amazing. And again, I have the email that tells me, I know like I got a 3-year-old in there, so I'm gonna look and see how many girls that's 3 to 6 and that kind of thing. But it's hard to tell people no. And the people that called are people that take care of folks all year round. They actually work in some of these facilities. They see the need, and they were so disappointed when they realized that they were not going to be getting toys this year for this group of women and their children. They were devastated and like, look, we really don't have a lot of places to go. Can you help? So I just want to put that out there for folks. Thank you, Duran. So now I'm only trying to get 4 coats. And again, these are for young brothers, trying to make sure they got what they need. Because the other thing that I've noticed in families, and I keep trying to think, did it happen in my family? I don't think so because I'm older than my brother. But the boys would go without to make sure that the girls had what they needed. And parents were just like that. Moms would look at their sons and be like, hey, your sister, you a man, even though they would be like 12, you a man, you got to learn to tough it out. And, we take care of the women in the house. And right now, this is the money I have. And so I've seen that even as a social worker. I've seen that where boys take shorts. The first time we did a toy drive, I remember I had to come on and make a special appeal because people were donating toys, but everybody was buying stuff for girls. And I put out a call and said, hey, y'all, the boys, we coming up short. And then the thing that just blew me away is that brothers, men, was walking in this radio station and dropping off toys for these boys. And I just was blown away. So that's the holiday ask. I hadn't intended to make one this year. I thought I was going to, after we came off of what we did for the funeral for the baby, I said, we tapped out. We did what we could do, and we hadn't planned to do a holiday ask. But I understand that the need is there 24/7. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, morning, Michelle. How y'all doing?
Oh, good. How you doing this morning? Hey, Kathy.
Good. Hey, I don't know if I'll be able to go shopping, but I'm going to come by. Where I work or whatever. I can donate $150 in cash. I don't have no problem with that. And and everything. All of us are not lacking in the community, and I know a lot of people calling your station. We could do this. There's no problem. Plus, Northcott gives out toys on Christmas Day. And you can pick out what you want. So everybody should know that. And they're doing a meal where you can sit down this year or take your stuff with you. They give nice toys out. I helped out.
They really do.
Last year.
Yeah, I'll be there wrapping on Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah, this Saturday they're going to be wrapping, and members of my sorority are planning to be there on Saturday. So I'll be there wrapping gifts on Saturday.
Okay, that's a call for people in our community to come out and help wrap too on Saturday, or whatever day they need you on. But if you want to come by me, I'm going to pledge some money. So call Northcott first.
Well, yeah, if you want to volunteer, just so they're not overrun, because I don't know what their volunteer situation is like, and you want to make sure people have enough to do. But they do give out amazingly nice toys. The only reason why, and this when I even got the call from the sister about these families, and I said, can they utilize Northcott? That's when I found out that some of these families have challenges, like a mom who has cancer, so she's not able to take the kids and go and try to get toys and that kind of thing. So that's why I realized that there were some unique situations where I had people who couldn't get to Northcott to go be able to do that.
If you have a relative or maybe a teen, a 20 or 17-year-old kid or something that can take them over there, they don't ask who nobody is at all. So people and neighbors want to help them out, they can take them to over there. But I will donate $150. But if you want to come get that today, tomorrow, let me know at work, and I can make that happen for you.
Kathy, do me a favor and leave your phone number with Jermaine, because I know I got it in my phone, but I'm terrible. I got like 5 Kathys in my phone, and I didn't put a last name.
Kathy Harmon.
I know your last name, but I know I didn't put your last name in my phone. So do me a favor, Kathy. I'm gonna ask Jermaine to get the number for me, okay? And thank you so much.
No problem.
That's huge. Thank you so much. So yeah, like I said, that was not the intent this year. But we did this the first time we ever did toys. The station, I was able to utilize and work with the station. We did it coming out of COVID. I mean, during COVID, because we realized that all these parents, doors were shuttered, folks couldn't go to work, and these children were going to be in trouble. And literally, and I can't help but smile, because when we did that, we put this thing together so fast, and we actually had a website where people could go register on the site, we were telling them to tell your kids to tell us the top 3 things that they want. And the thing that was crazy, that was started. I put in $500. Martha Love put in $500. Lakeisha Myers put in $500. Terrell and Felicia Martin put in $500. We started with $2,000. And then, we told people what we were doing. And teachers, I don't know if that was in Glendale, but teachers started calling like, we want to do something. They're like, give us the list. And they went crazy. It was so cool. This was the thing that got me though. Everything that every child put on their list of the top 3 things, those kids got all 3 of those things. Yes.
I don't have much, but here's $50 towards whatever you're trying to do.
Did you see what he did, Devo?
I ain't worried about it. It's yours now. I know you're gonna get it.
I didn't get no claps and snaps when I said I was buying it. Everybody else getting
See, another Ralph Transmit. Another Ralph Transmit in the studio. We got a caller. Let's go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning, bro?
Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
And God bless everybody for what you're doing. But it's funny. A friend of mine and myself were talking yesterday, and we're talking about all these foreigners with these nail shops and gas station stores, whatever, restaurants in our community. They never, ever, ever offer up a dime when it comes to us. You got businesses right outside your window at Galaxy where people be buying a lot of their Christmas food, the gas station there, the old Kentucky Fried Chicken. If these people would contribute 50, 100 lousy stinking dollars, they sell that in blunts and a half a day. We'd be better. Them Italians in Chicago had it right. You ain't coming here making money and not support the community. We need to have, we got like 55 community activists out here. We need to have a list. We're not extorting these people, but if you can't donate to a cause, people just don't shop with these people.
No, that's fair. And I got to be honest, I was laughing because this is the first time that I probably have had to do more asks because, like outside of the radio, except for some consulting stuff, I haven't worked all year. I made a conscious decision. I needed a break. And because it's a lot of stuff I just finance out my own pocket. It's it's just like, hey, I got it. I just did it that way. So I've never even asked any of these businesses. And so to your point, I will just say this. Number one, we need to make sure we asking because I've never done it. But there's also a part of me like, I don't go to JJ, so I'm not asking JJ's for nothing. I all that irritates me. But but your point is well taken. I just got to make sure that we making the ask too. But some of these organizations, if they really want to be a good community partner, people can figure out who's doing what and how to get resources to people.
And you know what? You and a lady mentioned a Northcott neighborhood house, and they're always feeding people doing this and that. Maybe if they had a sticker like the health department give businesses to say a fair contributor to the Northcott neighborhood house and put that sticker in their window, they're some type of approved business. A business that gives back to the community.
Yeah.
And again, no extortion. Only deal with certain people that's going to keep it clean. But them people, we send their kids to medical school. Damn, can y'all buy us a contribute towards a toy or a turkey dinner? And it's sad we got to keep asking people for stuff. But y'all come here and get dirt rich. Filthy rich. And they won't close their eyes and go to sleep in this community, but they'll open both of those hands and double-fistedly take money out of it. That was just my thought. And again, thank y'all for what you're doing.
No, points noted, bro. It's appreciated. You want to say something?
I do agree with you, though. We should go out there first and ask the different businesses.
We need to make sure we
at least petition and solicit. Hey, we're glad you're in the community. We're part of the community. We're helping support you. So, is there any way you can give back? If you go humbly and just ask, all they can say is no. But when you just go in humbly and not this is what we deserve or this is what we need, I think 9 times out of 10 they're going to be more inclined to want to listen, even if they give $10. They'll do something. Thank you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and closed mouths don't get fed.
True.
That's a fact.
True. So no, good advice and points well taken. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that call.
You bet.
All right. So yeah, so I'm getting ready to go to commercial break, but
I'm getting ready to go. So I won't be here after these messages.
Did you have any parting words?
No.
The quality of my programming slips every day.
No, not
every day.
Not I don't have anything, but thank you for letting me crash again. It's not that you didn't know
Did
I was
we
going.
let you crash?
You did, because you were forewarned that I'd be here this morning.
But think about what you said. I was forewarned. I was
Right.
not asked. I was forewarned.
Is that what we do? We ask. I don't.
It's like messing with Keisha, man. You just show up.
It's just demands.
Yes. But let me shout my girl out on air, because when we was looking out the window last night, I said, "Oh my God, it's gonna snow tonight." I had just cleaned out the driveway, and the driveway is a double driveway, so it's stupid wide, it's stupid long,
and it's steep.
So I had just cleaned it out, and then we saw the snow flurries. I looked out the window, man. I told her, I said, "Good night. I'm going upstairs to go to bed. I don't even want to deal with this." So she said, and I heard her say it. She said, "Oh, let me make that phone call." I heard her say it. I went on upstairs and went to sleep. So I get up before Keisha. So when I came downstairs, I came downstairs ready to go outside. So I got the shovel. I started taking care of the walkway and the landing, for the front door. And by the time I got to the end of the walkway, man, here come that plow truck. Oh my God.
Won't he do
I was
it?
like, dude came in. He took that whole driveway out in 10 minutes and then got out with his shovel, caught the side of the truck. And I looked at that man. I was like, you know what? I ain't never been so happy to see a white man in my life. He was like, he was like, okay, wow. You're welcome. Wow. Oh my God. But see, that's what I appreciate about folks that got means and resources. Because Keisha was like, yeah, we got a snowblower. Ain't nobody doing that. But that driveway will be clean before you leave to go to work this morning. So shout out to the big baller shot caller, Lakeisha Myers, who was like, no, boo. When I get right back up, that beans need to be able to go straight up that hill. So it ain't nothing like having some other options. What'd you say? Sing it again. All right, let me take a break. Mr. Brown, it's good to see you, fam.
Good to see you. Good to see
doors
you. Good
welcome.
To see you. I'll be back with chicken thighs tomorrow.
Man, bring them joints.
we ain't selling them. We ain't selling no thighs. But I'll feed y'all.
No Diddy though.
Chicken thighs tomorrow.
And I'll make sure the baby oil is. We'll be right back. We'll be right back, y'all. Family, welcome back to the show. So, since we're talking about kids right now, let me take a second. You know, I always talk about the luck of the draw, who your parents are, who your village is, where you grow up, what your family socioeconomic status is, educational attainment, who got a trade, who got a job, and it's easy to go from one extreme to the other. There are a whole bunch of people whose parents were federal employees, career federal employees, and then just like that, new administration comes in and these people are out of work. I mean, in the blink of an eye. And so you just never know which day is your day, for something crazy to happen. But the thing that also got me is, while I knew I wanted to talk about uh, making sure kids in our community have what they need, um, I see a story that I smiled when I saw the story. I think about it in juxtaposition to our community. But there is a 14-year-old young man who, his name is Dean Roy, who has announced that he is running for governor of the state of Vermont. This is a freshman at Stowe High School in Vermont. And he is the typical kid. He skis because where he lives. His family has a maple tree tapping syrups, business that they have. He loves Formula One. But this young man, I watched him do an interview last night. And when I tell you it was nothing short of crazy, he is also someone who pays attention to politics. He is actually fairly adept on a lot of the issues. He was talking about, his platform and what were the things that he wanted to run on. And so as I listened to him, it was so crazy, because I'm like, well, you're not even old enough to vote. In the United States, you got to be 18 years old to vote. So how are you running for governor? But they have a quirk in their law that there is no minimum age requirement to be able to run for governor. That's one. And there was a young boy who ran as a Democrat for governor when he was 14 years old. But of course, you're not going to make it out of the primary. You're not getting on the ballot. So this young man created his own political party. And as long as you have the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, all these different parties, that's how those, fringe candidates can get on the ballot. So because he created his own party, he's able to get himself on the ballot, even though he's not legally old enough to even vote for himself. Now on one hand, people could be like, this is crazy, that's silly, that's ridiculous. They asked him the question. They said, so what happens, if you win? He says, I'm gonna go and do the best job that I can. What happens if you lose? He said, I'm gonna learn from it and then I'm gonna try it again. Y'all, the idea that there is a child, 14 years old, who has also taken an interest in political, the political dealings and workings of a state, their community. It made me smile, quite frankly, because I was like, even though, you're not ready to be the governor of your high school at 14. Well, wait, let me say this. There are some exceptions, because we do have some brilliant young people. I mean, IQ through the roof, brilliant young people. So let me be clear. I'm not saying there's never or there's no way possible. But on average, you're not ready. But this was the thing that cracked me up too about hearing about this state. In order to run for governor of this state, All you need is 500 signatures to get your name on the ballot. Like to run for mayor of Milwaukee, I think you needed 2,000 signatures. State level, the Senate races and the assembly, it's crazy. I can't remember what the signature count is on them. I think it was 400 for the assembly. I got to remember how many it was for the state. But you only need 500 signatures to qualify, valid signatures to get on the ballot in Vermont to run for governor. Y'all, if you call and if you're not worried about getting signatures from all over the state, you can get 500 signatures in a couple of days. Like literally. So I just had to bring that up. I thought it was interesting. It would be interesting to talk to young people to ask them what they think about this young, this young guy and what he's doing. If he were to be successfully get on the ballot, he turns in the appropriate signatures. But this young man literally talked about the issues. He talked about LGBTQ and abortion rights, lowering property taxes, raising taxes on short-term rentals, cutting school districts from more than 100 to 5. Like, I'm sorry, say what now? It is so crazy. A 14-year-old freshman talking about taxes and streamlining school districts. So don't tell me what is not possible when you introduce young people to what's going on. But again, staying in education for a moment, a lot of people caught off guard last night when they heard about a shooting down at Kentucky State University. I had to be reminded that Kentucky State University is an HBCU. It is an HBCU. It is the largest HBCU in Kentucky. But Kentucky State University.
Oh, so that's not the Wildcat.
Let me see. I don't know what their team mascot is. But yeah, no, this is a HBCU. Because as soon as I said it, Lakeisha, she was like, that's a HBCU. And I was like, is it? Because I don't know all the HBCUs. I know it's like 113 HBCUs. Yeah, but this is a HBCU. And so the initial reports, one person is deceased, another one was injured. A gunman, I think they said this man was like 48, 49 years old, who was on the yard from Indiana. So I don't know if he was somebody's daddy, somebody's uncle, brother, because they said this was not like, an active shooter in which everybody was in danger. This may have been very targeted, isolated. The folks may have known one another, but either way, they talked about the kids, said that, kids getting ready for finals, packing up to go home. I guess it's still warm enough in Kentucky. Some of the kids said they had their windows open and they could hear the gunshots ring out. And they ended up finding the young man, I think they said in Whitney Young Hall, on the floor, sprawled out. And they were able to apprehend the shooter. That's why we know 48, 49-year-old man from Indiana. But what is behind the shooting, we don't know any of that information yet. So there were folks that were checking for folks down at Kentucky State University yesterday, making sure family and friends were okay. But the man who did the shooting, his name is Jacob Lee Bard. He is from Evansville, Indiana. He's been booked into the Franklin County Regional Jail on charges of murder, first-degree assault. And the president, he came out, he made a statement. He said, as a parent, I cannot imagine receiving the call I placed today to this child's parents who had been killed. So exams have been suspended, classes, activities for the rest of the week canceled. Students were told that they could go home. Counseling is being made available to them. You got to appreciate all of that. The university said the shooting happened again. So it was near Whitney Young Junior Hall, a dorm, which is a dorm on the south side of the campus. And they said that the police were responding. They had gotten the calls about an active aggressor. Uh, so you literally had the FBI show up. You had Homeland Security show up because nobody knew at that moment whether or not this was a bigger, broader shooting attack on the HBCU. HBCUs have been under threat. Uh, targets, racial, angst against the Black college campuses. So people weren't sure exactly what was going on. But there were a number of kids that were out and about. And, so kids who said I was walking by, we heard it. It just ended up being just very, very scary on the campus for a lot of these young people. So I looked at a number of Facebook posts from young people, and they talked about the person that they had lost. People knew this victim, said a lot of positive things about the person. But yeah, just so people know, this was a university that was founded in 1886. It's a small school, about 2,200 students, 450 faculty and staff members, sitting on about a little over 1,000 acres of land. So this school is an HBCU. And I wanted to make sure that I flagged that for our community, because when we see some of these things, we don't know what's happening and how that impacts us. The last thing that I want to do, since I'm talking about young people, kids, is I wanted to provide a little bit of information, because I had been seeing this story and it was prominent on the news last night again, but I had been hearing about this for a little while, but I hadn't slowed down enough to get the backstory and information. But there have been some countries that have taken the steps to say that it is no longer lawful for a child under the age of 16 years old to be on social media in relationship to Facebook, Instagram, a lot of these sites, because of what they are saying is the bullying, cyberbullying that's taking place, uh, stalking, grooming that's taking place, that the internet for some of these young kids, 12, 11, it's a lot to navigate and manage. So there, just recently, yesterday, there were countries that began announcing, if if you're under 16, no social media accounts for you. Any companies that they find that are setting up those accounts, $30 million fine. $30 million fine. A couple of other countries have lower ages, but in the midst of it, there was this discussion about this terror group 764. And there were even congressional hearings, and a Black mom was testifying before Congress and talking about the fact that her son committed suicide because he was being harassed by folks connected to this group. And I'm like, what in the world is Terror Group 764? So it has been described as an extremist network using various platforms to prey on vulnerable children here in the US and around the world. For the past 6 months, there have been a lot more stepped up investigations into this disturbing rise, and all they call it is 764. We just put the terror group in front of it so people have an understanding. Because you say 764, you're like, what is that, an airplane? Like, what is that? But they are saying that this is modern day terrorism. The network originally came together based on the activity of a young man who was a teenager at the time. And he started this child sexual predator network on the Discord gaming channel back in 2021. So this is the crazy part. They're saying that a young person actually started it. The 764 network operates in the U.S., as I said, all over the world, using threats, blackmail, perverse manipulation to groom children for violence and pain. Members force young people to perform depraved acts against themselves and others. So kids have been lured in thinking you in a relationship, send me pictures of yourself, undressed, send me nude photos. And then they take those nude photos and they blast them out on the internet. And then they, tell these kids, you need to harm yourself. This is everybody in the world is going to see you naked. Everybody in the world is going to know what you did. Take your own life. And there have been children who were already struggling mentally or, with other factors going on in their lives who have fallen susceptible to this. So this network is expanding. And what they're now saying is an alarming rate, according to the FBI. And they are definitely looking at it like some type of terrorist organization because they have so many, things in common with some of these organizations where people talk about folks being, I can't even think of the word, but basically like nurtured to become a terrorist. One of the things that they wanted to make sure that, parents and trying to figure out like, what do we do? How long have you all known about this? We learned that the FBI was conducting 250 investigations. I now heard this morning it was as many as 300 investigations across the country tied to these 764 and similar networks. It's now become a huge priority. At least 28 people have been charged by the Justice Department with suspected ties to the 764 or affiliated networks. Many have not pled guilty. They still awaiting trial. But again, the children involved in these charges leveled against these 28, we saw kids that did self-mutilation, suicide, sexual abuse, all kinds of things to get these kids caught up in stuff that they shouldn't be caught up in as children. So one of the things that I wanted to make sure people understood is how your kids can be exposed to this. And I'm just looking real quick. There was a young boy, 13 years old. His name was Jay Taylor. He died by suicide. He was over in Germany, but they were pushing him online to take his own life. And in terms of prevention, monitoring what your children are doing online. I've said this before. A lot of kids' gaming systems are in their rooms. The parents don't go in the rooms for any extended period of time to see what the child is doing. Now that the children play with headsets, or young people play with headsets, I can't even hear the game. If you're not talking, I don't know what you're doing on the game. And because you can play with people from anywhere, I don't know if you're playing with other children, if you're playing with adults, grown-ups. Jermaine, you and I have had some scary conversations about some of the stuff you said you've seen.
Yeah. And I actually, when I have my grandson over at the house, I have to monitor him playing Roblox because, he's playing Roblox and his kid says on there, but it's also grown adult men that's playing these video games with these kids. So some of the conversation, like you hear, you like, hold on, is that a grown man talking? So,
See?
And it's to the point that you can actually set your settings that, that certain people can't, talk to your kids and things like that, or you can set that, just only certain gamers can actually, chime in.
Okay.
But if you in the open world, and it's really scary because sometimes I might get on and play Grand Theft Auto or something,
Right.
and I'm playing online with thousands of people. But some of the stuff you hear, from the racism to some of the stuff, is crazy. It's really crazy. Like I actually heard a guy, because we was playing with numerous people, in the world. So it's like you can hear different people talking. And so one guy was like, "Yeah, man, keep on talking, man. I'm gonna track down your IP address and come see you." So they can actually track your IP and find you.
Well, I know, and I got to watch it because I haven't watched it yet. But evidently, there was a black woman that was being trolled by a racist person online, and she tracked them down and went to their house.
Yeah, and it's
She
true.
and my son just sent me the video, but I had seen it,
Yeah,
but I hadn't taken the time to look at it yet. But they tracked that sister tracked
It's
them
true.
down, like, "Oh, you want to talk that talk?" and showed up.
it's,
I was like,
you know
"Wait
what?
a
I heard
minute."
about that. So I heard that she drove 3 hours.
Yeah,
I heard about.
I got the
story.
video on my
She drove
phone.
3
I
hours
haven't looked
just to
at it
tell-
yet.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she
I
like,
saw
"Oh
it on
no,
TV.
you want to do that?"
Yeah,
Yeah. I said, "See, everybody ain't gonna play with you, man."
yeah.
So
And it was this one I was watching on Facebook. I saw him at this mother caught on her ring cam that this guy came to her door and rung the doorbell. So she asked who he was. He say, "Your son invited me." She
oh
was
yeah,
like,
you
"Huh?"
talked about
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
your son invited me, say that you didn't have a boyfriend,
right.
and so he gave me the address so I could come meet you. And she flipped out. And but that's the thing, if you're not
Because
paying
what kind of
attention
person are you that you talk to a child online
and get the information and come.
and then come to their house? Yeah, all of that was scary.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to implore people again, as you are doing holiday shopping, you getting and the equipment is getting in kids because your grandbaby is 8.
8, 9,
This equipment and these games are getting in children's hands younger and younger and younger.
yeah.
And I'm just telling you, the number of parents, I'm sorry, parents, grandparents that don't do their job. And you have no idea what your grandchild is listening to or your child is listening to or playing. You buy it and you walk away. And whoever is out there in that arena, that world, of gaming, they got access to your child, man. And then again, we talked about that when we first started talking about seeing the prevalence of computers in homes. Take them computers and put them somewhere centrally located. Now everybody got laptops. Kids got their own tablets, laptops. So you can just sit in your bed, in your bedroom.
Your phone is the most accessible thing that you have. And some of the stuff that pop up on your phone, from the sexual content to crime to people being killed, that I don't understand why Facebook would challenge if you put something up about Trump or something up
Right.
that they whatever,
Yeah.
they'll flag it.
Right.
But they won't flag a young black man getting murdered. They won't flag these sex pills commercials that they got that's actually showing sexual activity while they promoting a pill. And this is stuff that our kids are watching. And again, since you're not around your child 24/7, you don't know what they're.
And then the other thing, because I remember, there were parents at one time, cell phones had to go in a centrally located place. They was in the kitchen. After 10 o'clock at night, bring that cell phone out that room.
Yeah.
And plug it up in the kitchen.
But that's for parents that care.
Yeah, like your kid ain't in the bed with their cell phone.
Trying to go to sleep.
Yeah, going to sleep. Bring that phone out that room. Because as you said, you can access anything with that phone.
And
absolutely anything.
And I'm gonna show you when we go to a commercial break. So I'm gonna show you it is, and it's not even that you have to click on it to just watch the stuff. It pops up, it draws you in. So like the ones you see it and be like, oh, what's this? You locked in forever.
Oh, because the algorithms change. I mean, and they do it on Netflix because you watched, Black Panther.
Yeah.
They send you 20,000 more black movies
Yeah.
that you may like.
Yeah.
You get locked into an algorithm and they keep sending you the same kinds of content. So I'm just going to stress again the need to monitor your children's online activities, look for sudden behavior changes in these babies, and to educate, sit down and talk to these children about what goes on while they online, particularly while they're still young. Because once they get 13, 14, 15, they're not telling you nothing. So while they're still young, to be able to educate them and talk to them. Like, if you hear anything that sounds wrong, if somebody says something that makes you uncomfortable, nobody should be talking about body parts, like whatever those conversations need to be. And I'm going to challenge people that's listening to me right now. How many of y'all do it? Because all I know is I got a nephew and they'll be like, TT, we need some more money for Roblox. I don't know what a Roblox is. I don't know how you play it. I don't know what you do it. I'll just be like, well, here my card, buy it.
Because most
and
parents,
not doing any background research.
Because most parents, it's like, well, they think that it's harmless. You playing a video game and you're not in my way. I get to do whatever I get to do. You go play the game and I'm gonna either be on the phone or I'm cooking or I'm doing whatever.
Right. It's a babysitter.
And it's not paying attention to what's really going on. And this is what's really branding our kids, because I don't care what nobody say. This video game, Grand Theft Auto, I truly believe in my heart, it's the reason why all over the country we seeing high speed chases and people doing whatever they're doing with these cars.
Well, I know that they've had children that have been driving cars, and when the police ask them how they learn how to drive, they say Grand Theft Auto.
I'm telling you,
they learned how to drive playing Grand Theft Auto. Let me catch this caller real quick before I go to break. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Well, good morning, Miss Michelle Bryant.
What up, JT? How you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing quite well, young lady, and thank you for asking. And how are you doing?
No complaints this morning.
Okay. Good morning to the double legend, Mr. Devo.
Good morning,
yes, and good morning to Mr. Jermaine Rideout.
Papa.
I told you, boy, your daddy's looking at me with a shotgun.
You crazy. You are crazy. You crazy.
I keep trying to hide from your dad, Jermaine. You already mean mugging your mom. Hey, Michelle.
He showed up for it today.
Hey, I heard y'all people with the Michelle people with the S at the end. that's my Jermaine right off moment.
Yes.
I heard y'all people talking about me this morning. You better watch out, and I'm gonna stick Mr. Devo on you.
Oh yeah, I knew he was gonna talk you right on up. No doubt about that.
I was gonna ask you, JT. Did you were you looking for chicken thighs too?
Hey, legs, thighs, wings, you name it.
See, that's right, JT. That's right, JT. Don't fall for it.
Yes, I just called in to see was it okay for me to steal, because I used to send donations to the radio station to Keon Jackson Malone for his and to Mr. Homer Blow when did his birthday for the kids back in the days.
Yep.
So I just wanted, could I still send my donation and send it to your attention? Would that be okay if I send it to the studio?
That'll be fine. If you out and about and you want to just pick up a toy, that works too. I tell people you don't have to give me anything directly. You can just buy a toy for a child. And so whatever is the easiest, I want to make it as convenient as possible for people, okay?
Okay, I appreciate that, because it'd be easier for me just to mail it into the studio.
Okay, no problem.
Michelle, I know one thing I want to say about you, Michelle. You do the walk. When you do the walk, you also do what you're talking about. Because I remember some time ago at Walmart, I think I was behind you in line.
Yes, yes.
Remember back then?
I do remember that. We was down here on East Capitol. Yes, sir.
That was Good Hope.
Was it Good Hope, Brown Deer?
I'm sorry, Brown Deer.
Yeah, Brown Deer. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a basket full of everything for the kids.
Yes.
I said, look at Michelle. She got a whole basket full of stuff for the kids.
Yeah, so I was out holiday shopping for them. Yes, sir. I remember.
Yes, I remember that. So I have to throw my little 10 cents in. So yes, I send that to you, and thank you for me allowing me to do that. And I thank you for everything 860 do for the community. And Jermaine.
Yes, sir.
Hey, peoples. Watch out now, because I'm tired of hiding from your dad.
Duck goose, JT.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right, JT, thank you. All right, family, let me take a quick break. I'll be right back. Got to talk about my girl, Jasmine Crockett, getting in the race to run for U.S. Senate. About to shake it up. And for the religious community, Pastor Freddie Gaines getting ready to run for Congress. I'll be right back. Or was it Haynes? Getting ready to run for Congress. I'll be right back. All right, family. Before we went to break, I brought up Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett yesterday after the announcement was fresh and hot off the presses. I did not get an opportunity to talk about it, but I wanted to make sure I picked it up today because first, let me just say this. 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 When word started blowing up on our phones that Jasmine Crockett was getting into the race for the U.S. Senate, first understand this. It is because of the gerrymandered districts and the Supreme Court making the decision to let Donald Trump and Republicans cheat Democratic or Democrats, Black voters, voters of color out of their ability to select the candidates of their choice by either packing them, stacking them into districts or breaking up their districts so that if all of the Black folks got on the same page, you still wouldn't have enough Black voters in your district to be able to elect the candidate of your choice. Again, quick example. We're right here on 20th and Capitol Drive. This is a predominantly Black community. If they decided to say from 20th Street back to the lake is a voting district, and they include more people from Shorewood and Glendale, and even if they dip down and pull in some of the South Side and make that a congressional district, Black people get outnumbered in the district. So the way Congresswoman Gwen Moore is in the 4th Congressional District, she's in a district that is heavily populated with people of color. So our ability to elect a Black congressperson is better because of the way the district is drawn. But the district makes sense because spatially, we all live in this area. So what Republicans have done here in the state, what Donald Trump, and this is historically, when we talk about gerrymandered districts in Wisconsin, but Donald Trump, who is worried about keeping control of Congress, because see, if you get Democrats running Congress, then you're not going to get these rubber stamps or people looking the other way when Donald Trump tear down the whole damn third of the White House. You're not going to get people that's not saying, hold on, don't spend. And even with him talking about, we got this done with private money. Your private money can still be applied to public land. We don't have to take that money and don't have to allow you to take that money because this is still public land. This is a public building. So that's like somebody saying David Crowley went out and found, a donor to give $100 million so they can tear down the courthouse and do anything they want to. No, you cannot. But if you had an effective Congress acting like a co-equal branch of government, then you would see some checks and balances. But there are none. So that's what they effectively did when Donald Trump tells the governor of Texas, hey, bruh, I need you to get me 5 additional congressional seats because we need to shut down any chance of Democrats getting control of the House of Representatives. The governor of Texas says, not a problem. We got you. And they proceed to work with the Republican-controlled legislature in Texas, and they draw maps that steal voting power away from Black and brown voters. Even though Black and brown voters, their populations have grown, particularly Hispanic voters, legal Hispanic voters, have grown in such a way that they were eligible to get additional congressional seats that they made sure they gave to white folks. So Jasmine Crockett found herself being caught up in these newly drawn maps that she was going to have to compete in a district that it was going to be problematic for her to get reelected. So Jasmine Crockett decides, you know what? You might be able to mess with these congressional districts, with these House of Representative districts, but the Senate seats, that's statewide. That's statewide. You don't have that level of influence because every state gets 2 senators. We got Baldwin and Ron Johnson. It's statewide. So all the gerrymandering in the world, you can't mess with them Senate seats in terms of some of these outcomes. So she makes the announcement that she's going to run for the Senate seat. Now, let me just say this. There was already a brother who was in the race. He had been in since July. And he saw the early polling, Colin Allred. He saw the early polling and he pulled out on Monday because anybody that's paying attention on the Democratic side of things, Jasmine Crockett, nothing to be played with. But I got to say this. If you have not seen her announcement ad that she's running, whoever did this ad for her, I don't care what nobody say, it was genius to me. The ad opens with Jasmine Crockett I think she got black suit on, white shirt, black background. And it's her side profile. She's not saying a word. But all you hear is Donald Trump bashing her and talking about how she's low IQ and she's the worst. And if she's supposed to be the new face and the new leader of the leadership of the Democratic Party, they're in trouble. And it's just him over and over and over again mocking and belittling Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. At one point, he says her name, Crockett, and she goes from the side profile and does this immediate turn and is looking dead into the camera, but still not saying a word. And he continues to berate her and, talk about her low IQ, even though this sister is an attorney and got the receipts in terms of academics. But then at some point towards the end, she's supposed to be the new leadership of the Democratic Party. And then you see her fold her hands, her arms, and she smiles. And she smiles and smiles like, you don't even understand. You don't even understand what's getting ready to happen. So I encourage people to pay attention to this race. I got to take a quick break. But when we come back, I mentioned that a pastor who actually had been tapped to run the Rainbow Push Coalition, who stepped back, is now running for Congress as well out of the good state of Texas. I'll be right back.
Jackson. 2 major black holidays will no longer be part of the National Park Service's fee-free days. Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth, which were included in the 2025 calendar, have been removed. In their place, the Trump administration has announced a new set of what it calls resident-only patriotic fee-free days for 2026, including President Donald Trump's birthday on June 14th. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum said the changes are meant to prioritize U.S. taxpayers and ensure that international visitors contribute more to the cost of maintaining parks. Now, the decision regarding the fee-free days raises concerns among critics who note that both MLK Day and Juneteenth are widely recognized black holidays that have been included in recent years. For AUR News, I'm Jimmy Jackson.
Here's a look at your updated forecast. For today, a winter weather advisory in effect early on, plus lingering early snow showers, less than an additional inch, with our temperatures gradually falling into the 20s. And for tonight, gradually decreasing cloud cover above 8 above zero. Thursday, north wave sunshine making your return to a high of 21.
All right, folks, welcome back to the show. So, taking a minute to get caught up on just some of these happenings that's going on around the country that we definitely ought to be paying attention to. I mentioned Pastor Freddie Haynes, Dr. Frederick Haynes, who has announced that he is running. He has filed his paperwork to run in the 30th Congressional District out of Texas. And, you know, a lot of people were still trying to figure out what went on when Jesse Jackson was stepping down from Rainbow Push and they tapped I keep saying Haynes, to come in and run the organization. He had only had the title for a few months and then decided to resign. We know that he has had some medical issues. In fact, he just is really getting back into action. He is the senior pastor of Friendship West Baptist Church, been the senior pastor for 40 years. So I was like, well, dang, how old is Freddie Haynes? But he's only 65. If you think about it, we got 80-year-olds in Congress right now. He's still a young man to be able to go in and do this work. But politically astute, very, very smart, definitely well connected, on top of a lot of the things that's going on in Texas. So just understand, remember what I said. There was a Democrat, Colin Allred, who was running for that U.S. Senate seat. He heard Jasmine was getting in. He drops out of the U.S. Senate race. Crockett then files her paperwork. Allred is going to file for paperwork to run for the newly congressional seat that's in Dallas County. He's going to be, running against another Democrat. And then, so Jasmine Crockett is going after Senator John Cornyn's seat. He's running for a 5th term, but he got smoke on his heels. He's a Republican. So this whole thing can play out very, very interestingly. So just pay attention. Texas is going to be a bellwether. What just happened down in Miami in terms, and it just blew me away how, you don't pay attention to other people's local politics, that Miami had not had a person that was a Democrat, even though it's a nonpartisan job, but the woman leans Democrat. They have never had a woman be mayor, but we've never had one here in Milwaukee. And they had not had a Democrat in 30 years. I was like, it's Miami. What kind of conservative mess is going on in Miami? So that kind of tripped me out. So people are paying attention. But let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing this morning?
The Jasmine Crockett announcement, that was a brilliant move to basically say, okay, they couldn't touch me. They couldn't do this at the senatorial level. So the question is, this is going to be a real test for the state of Texas. I'm not sure what the population distribution is between Hispanic, white, black, but given that the state has operated in a way that I don't see how it's gotten better for just the average person, there's a lot of people out there whose vote is going to really count. And I would love to see how if she has an opportunity to debate her opponent and call things out. She's a different kind of candidate. She's a real threat.
Right.
And so I just think that I would hope that given the circumstances that we're all seeing, people do the right thing and vote in their interest and stop voting across just strictly, I can't have a black person be in charge of anything. She's already proven she can be in charge as a congressional person, and she's a strong leader. She has national presence. If they don't vote for her, given the climate we're in, that says a whole lot. I just hope that people actually come out and vote. I don't want it to be a case of the people didn't turn out.
Right. And you know what? And I'm glad you raised the demographic makeup of Texas, because let me tell you what you just walked up on. So Texas is, in terms of Hispanic Latino population, somewhere between 39 and 40%. In terms of white population, between 39 and 41%. Blacks only make up 12 to 13% of the population in the entire state of Texas. So it is really going to be the indigenous people or the Alaska natives, 1%, Asians, 5 to 6%. So it is really going to be what the Hispanic community does in Texas, that's going to decide if Jasmine get across the finish line.
And that's my point.
Yep.
We had, women had the majority of the vote, and they didn't vote for Clinton, and they didn't vote for Harris.
Right.
So I guess watching that happen, I'm like, if you've seen this already, and Texas is kind of representative of where Trumpism is taking hold. If you don't fix it this time, I don't know what to say.
I mean, and I think there are a couple of folks that are wising up. They see what's happening. But it is disheartening if you think about, particularly as a Hispanic Latino person, you can see everything that's going on under this administration in relationship to this demographic, and you still show up again in the same way to vote for this administration or the candidates that's supported by this administration. So yeah, but you walked up on a real point on that comment, bro. I appreciate you bringing that up.
I appreciate you giving us an opportunity, because this is going to prove to folks that voting does matter.
Yeah.
Money matters in trying to get you to run a campaign, but the bottom line is, when it's time to vote, money doesn't buy votes. Votes are cast by individuals, and that's the one power you do have. Is if you don't take advantage of your vote, you're kind of putting yourself in a position to be taking it, being done in a wrong way. And as you see, these people ain't playing.
Nope.
They will take food from people. They will take health care from people. They will snatch you off the street. If that don't wake you up, I don't know what will.
All right. Thank you, bro. I appreciate the call. And since we're talking about voting, let me also say this, because I haven't talked about this story because I just didn't want to, I just get weary sometimes. I'm like, here we go again. But they pulled out demographic information on who votes in this country, and the group that they said votes the least is brothers. Pew Research did a study. This data has been out there since 2024. There are some other studies that have came out, but Pew Research was the biggest. Black folks make up 14% of the nation's population. But when they looked at, how many brothers was eligible to vote versus how many did vote, like the biggest gains that can be made in voting is if we get brothers to turn out. So I just wanted to put that out there since you mentioned the whole voting aspect of it. But when I got people that call this station and, why you give a damn about the Hispanic and the Latinos, you're always, trying to say somebody need to look out for them and don't use words like people of color. Just talk about Black people, because I'm not naive. It will take all of these groups, the like-minded white people, the like-minded Hispanic Latino people, Asian, indigenous, Black folks, to come together to make the necessary political changes that we need to see in this country. That's why, no, you don't get to watch what happens to Hispanic and Latino people and just be like, the hell with them. When you think about Milwaukee's demographic makeup, and let me say this, because in Texas, the white population is on a steady decline. When you look at Milwaukee real quick, and caller, here I come. Milwaukee's demographics. The data says 38 to 39% of Milwaukee, and I'm just going to do the city. 38 to 39% of the city of Milwaukee is Black. 32% to 36% is white, non-Hispanic. Hispanic or Latinos make up 20 to 22%. Asians, 4.5 to 4.8%. People that identify two races is more, somewhere between 4 and 7%. So understand this. Black people by themselves get nothing done in the city of Milwaukee. We got to have other groups that vote with us on issues. If Hispanics show up and feel like we got common interests, we're now 60% of the voting block. if like-minded white people, just half of them show up, we 75% of the voting block. And that's what happens. And while Milwaukee stays, for the most part, a Democratic-leaning city, a liberal-leaning city, because you got like-minded white, Hispanic, Latino, Black, Asian folks voting in the same way. That's what has to happen in Texas in order for Jasmine Crockett to win that race. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
You said something. You said in your breakdown, and I wasn't calling about this, but in your breakdown, you said something. You said white, non-Hispanic. Why is that emphasized? And what? Hold on. Why is and it's in the report. That's how they go about doing it. Why is white, non-Hispanic even a factor to say? Why is that?
Because, and I'm sure you know the answer, but we're going to just say it for the people in the back that may not. There are so many groups that have figured out when they come to this country or when they are citizens in this country that you get treated better when you white, that they identify as white to be afforded indirectly the privileges that they think comes with being white. So there's a whole sector of Hispanic Latino people that identify white rather than identifying Hispanic Latino.
Correct. Now you correct. And that's what gives white America the majority count in this country. In the 30s, remember, in the 30s, the Mexicans was considered white. They were considered Caucasian. The Chinese went and tried to get it too. They wanted to be European, but Congress shot them down. The Chinese couldn't get it. So you're definitely right on that, but that ain't why I really called. But when you say it, that was a gate for me. Remember, I'm a social studies buff now. I'll get at you. So anyway, you correct. But white folk, those Mexicans were actually considered. That's why when we was coming up, we say, "Oh man, that's a white Mexican. That's a white Chinese. You know, man, that's a Chinese. You know, this is how we were raised." But anyways, going back to Texas, we got to realize something about Texas, that those Hispanics, even in Wisconsin, they're not going to really ride with us unless they have an ulterior motive. Whenever they ride with us, that's why when the brother called in and talked about the people in our community that has these stores and they won't share anything, they take all of the fat off the bone, and they just like the slave masters. They take all the ham, they take the shoulders, they take the loins for the chops, they take all the stomach for the bacon. They do all of this kind of stuff, okay? And then they throw us the carcass. And that's exactly what they do in our community. So the brother is really right. There was one white boy that had Doc's Jewelers. Remember Doc's, the pawn shop?
Yep.
Well, McGee and all them guys got on him. See, that was a different breed of alderman that we had back then. And guess what he did? He set up a Negro college fund right there in the place. You can donate, and they donated thousands. And you could verify his donation was this just a perk the dude was doing because they was adding. No, they were actually donating to the Negro College Fund by the thousands. So, but these Arabs that come into our community, they have been set here to do us injustice. That's why it's so hard for me and you to open up a corner store, because when we do open one up, they limited what we can do, how we can do it, but they've allowed these people to come in, and government has made them rich. You know how government has made these Arabs rich? I don't want to hear nothing about, they come in, they pay taxes. No. They've used that government quest card and food stamps to make them rich. I mean, multi-millionaires. They've got their step off of those stamps. They fund wars through that. They send that money back home. They build houses in Franklin. That every time you pay $10, that's real $10 to you, to the bank. That's $7, $8, $25 all over the country. But me and you, we can't do it. Name how many black stores we got in the community, because people like Russell Stanford, and he just came in under Willie Hines that have been indoctrinated under the other mess. That's a whole different story. That's why we can't get ahead. But brother, you said a lot this morning when you said they will not give us nothing. And you said something about you don't go to JJ. Why you don't go to JJ's? After all, they got good catfish. They got good chicken. Why you don't go to JJ's?
So we just not gonna have this conversation because I've made it.
I know I'm gone
Thank
because
you, bro.
guess
Appreciate
what? JJ's hurt us real bad. They really did us in. They came and they sold us at the common council meetings. They sold us in the neighborhood meetings that they would give us employment. They came in. They put hundreds of black folk to work at first. Now, after they got the blueprint in, got their footprint in it, they fired all the Negroes. Negroes who thought they had jobs. Now who working in that? Mexican. Them ain't no Greek people. Them is Mexicans in there cooking. They ain't washing their hands. You talking about going to get a taco. They ain't even got no place to wash their hands in the truck.
Thank you, caller. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm just gonna leave it there. Last thing I want to work in before I get off the air today. And I'm not gonna spend. That's why I saved it till last. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on it. But you wonder. Yesterday, Donald Trump, his team, his chief of staff, his team decided that people talking because Donald Trump's appearances have been fewer this time around because the man almost 80 years old and he's sleeping half the meetings that he in. All of that projection, sleepy Joe Biden. The person that's sleeping for real is Donald Trump. And somebody did this great collage of all of the different places that his mouth is open, head back, eyes closed, snoring. It's just a great collage. But to kind of deal with the naysayers that is something going on with him, they said we better get him back out on the trail. So they sent him to Pennsylvania, to Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, for a little rally on his economic agenda. He talked for 90 minutes. And in 90 minutes, the takeaway was America is winning again, that job growth is significant, that unemployment is lower, and that there's a decline in gas prices. He basically said that the Democrats had made up the whole affordability argument, that people were not struggling to pay their bills, that people were making more money. And then he went on and did his racist, because he can't show up and not be racist. That just would not be Donald Trump. He can't show up and not be racist. So the immigrants don't have nothing to do with this conversation. But he says this again, why do we have to get people from S-hole countries? Why can't we get more people from Norway and Scandinavia? So that means white folks. And just completely got people sitting behind him, holding up the sign, bigger paychecks. And I'm just looking at these goofy people sitting behind this man like, I would much rather believe y'all being paid to sit back there than that y'all really this silly. That many of y'all are some blue collar, middle to lower income workers that's sitting behind this man right now. These policies are crushing American families. The idea that you would sit up and mock affordability, what the Democrats say, affordability. It's a hoax. It's a con job. It's a scam by the Democrats. Affordability. Like, first of all, you are the president of the United States and you act like everything is some freaking sideshow at a wrestling match. The degree of ignorance is just never lost on me. But when I tell you, as racist like what happened down in Miami, we're going to pay attention to see what goes on in Texas. We will be looking around the country because Democrats are going to make inroads because the economy is not working. Because I saw the stats yesterday. Coffee's gone up by 40%, certain types of meat up by 20%. Like I can tell a difference between what $100 does for me today in the grocery store and what $100 did for me a year ago. I can tell a difference. He gonna pass all the negative about the state of the economy to Joe Biden, and then want to take credit for everything that seems like it's remotely positive. Continue to pay attention as we see these changes now that the Federal Reserve are putting in place, but make no mistake, the choir is beginning to thin on Donald Trump. I know it does not feel like it, but the quickest way to move people is to start to mess with their money, to mess with their ability to pay their bills. I think I saw a stat that said for Christmas this year, they expect that people will put about $24 million worth of their purchases on their credit cards because they don't have the actual cash on hand to be able to afford to do what they want to do for the holidays. I don't care who you are. You begin to mess with people money and people will turn on you. It does not seem like it, but keep watching. The policies of this administration, the seams are beginning to come loose. It's unraveling. We were told we're going to get you some health care legislation. We didn't get it. The members of Congress got competing narratives on health care, one of which is we're going to, I think Chuck Schumer was saying, can we extend healthcare subsidies by 3 years? Republicans are like, no, we're not going to do that, but we'll give you a health savings plan. The problems with the health savings plan that Republicans are proposing are many. They are many. High deductible plans that most people can't afford. And even though you're saying we're going to give the money directly to the consumer and not to the big insurance company, who you think these people got to pay? Who you think they got to pay? So the medical debt is real. And then the Trump administration says, oh, and by the way, put medical debt back on the credit report. We're going to make it even harder for working people. So, yep, we don't have a viable healthcare plan in this country, one of the richest countries in the nation. I'm sorry, in the world. But we can't figure out how to get our folks to the doctor in a way that you don't have to sell everything you own to be able to survive. And then we go mess up your credit because it used to be on your credit and then we took it off your credit. Just like they're about to put student loan debt back on your credit when it was taken off. That whole piece about election have consequences, those are some of the consequences. Folks that's going to figure out how to help you while you're struggling, or folks that's going to figure out how to just continue to pile on and bury you so that you never get up on the other side. So these votes are going to fail. I'm saying that December 31st is going to come and go. There will have been nothing done on health care, and you will have millions of Americans who cannot afford to go to the doctor. That's the show for today. Elections have consequences. We can no longer continue to say that the voters who show up the least are Black men. Bros, if you want to do something to help your family, if you want to do something to help your community, go to the polls. Pay attention to Texas because we're going to have to align ourselves with other groups because the way things are going, we cannot get it done alone. We cannot. You don't show up for me, I don't show up for you. So with that, Bruss, I appreciate you. Community, I appreciate y'all as well. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.